Hi everyone, this is Natasha. I wanted to share with you a card that I made using some adorable 3/8 inch or 10mm Wilder Craft mulberry paper roses. And many of you know that orange is not on the top 5 list of my favorite colors. But what I did is, this is a little thank you card. I'm not going to say who it's for, but I think the person watching may guess. I started off with a colored Copic colored greeting farm stamp image. I have that in my little stash of, sometimes I just like to therapeutically sit and color some images, and I have this one already cut out, and as you could see I had this pretty little flower in orange and the dress in lilac. So I pulled together this card using Heidi Swapp's No Limit paper, and it's this orange sheet. I know it's kind of a masculine paper stack, however I made it work for a more feminine demure kind of card. So I used the craft note card base from Hobby Lobby. That's serving as my neutral because I'm using a color I'm not entirely comfortable using. I usually rely on colors and textures that are of comfort to me, so craft, black, cream, or ivory. So the base is a note card, and it's slightly smaller than a standard A2 size. It's only 4 inches this way by 5.5, so I just had to trim down the paper slightly differently. So it's not a standard A2 size card, it's just a little smaller by 1/4 inch. I have an ivory layer of Staples cardstock. Yes, it is from Staples. I get it. That's my Staples cardstock. I really enjoy using it. It's 110-pound weight. It gives you a nice weight. You can use it as card bases, but I have it as a layer because I needed to differentiate. It looked a little flat with just the pattern paper, so that tiny little bit that you see around the edge. So that's the base layer, and then the pattern paper from Heidi Swapp, which I'm really enjoying the fact that some of this coloring is very close to craft. That's actually why I picked it out. So it just kind of coordinates. And then on top of that, I placed a strip of this, I think this is basil cardstock lilac, and it's almost identical to the color that I used on the little girl's dress. And then the oranges are being picked up from the paper as well, so it kind of worked out nicely. And I picked out this lilac on purpose. It's actually a leftover piece, and again, I try to utilize most items that I have already had either embellished or prepped in advance, not in preparation for this particular card, but just kind of playing around, and then I put it all together. So I think it's kind of cute. You tell me, actually. But so I have the craft ivory pattern, lilac, and then I had a stash of little pre-cut, I think this is a Tim Holtz number 5 tag die. It's movers and shapers. So I had a whole pile of them already cut out, so I just grabbed that. What that did is it broke up some of that kind of busy pattern in the background. I think not having that there at all, the pattern itself would be more predominant than it is now. So that there's that tag layer, and then from another scrap piece of that pattern paper, I grabbed my 1/2 inch punch right here, a little 1/2 inch punch, and I punched out one of the little circles, which happened to have a star, which, that's a big thing in Texas. So I put that on, and then another one I put on the inside as a little embellishment. So let's see, what else did I, so the little girl is on dimensional adhesive. I think this is a little more than the 1/8 inch. Each of these little license plates, the Texas and the Aloha Hawaii State one. And then this is also cut out, stamped on craft cardstock, and it's a Stephanie Bernard Thanks a Latte stamp set. For the life of me, I cannot locate it. I don't know if I lent it out to someone, and I'm really bumming because it's one of those my favorite sets. And then this itty bitty teeny tiny little paper clip I believe is from 7 Gypsies, and that came from I received that in Iraq from Dana, who is Dana1214 here on YouTube. So thank you. See, I'm putting that to good use. And I know that this recipient is a coffee drinker, So I added that to the little Texas tab. And they're all on dimensionals as well. But I only put a dimensional halfway on this one because I wanted to make sure I tucked in and didn't compete with a dimensional layer on that. And then for the little flowers, I used both of these, both the white or it's kind of a creamy white, and the orange center are 10 millimeters, as well as these orange ones. And I'll include all the codes in the description below. Underneath that, I don't know if you could see that, but I have a little bit of the natural lace, and it's in this really pretty ivory. I'm not sure if that particular pattern is still available or not, but I will leave references for all of the natural laces that are available in the shop, because I find I prefer to work with natural, like organic materials much more. Maybe it's the earthy crunchy in me, so you never know. And then I added 3 more over here, like she was holding a little bouquet in her hand. So I just alternated. And remember, keeping odd numbers is much more pleasing to the eye. So that's the little card, and then on the inside I just used a couple of the scraps. That's a trimmed down piece. I did leave another layer of the ivory, and the reason I primarily put anything on the inside, especially when it's cardstock that you can absolutely write on without any issues, is to make it hefty evenly. Often if you have a lot of layers on the front, your card can be top heavy and not bottom heavy, so it would flop around. This gives it nice weight, and it's still within a 1/4 inch, so it would thickness, so it would fit into an envelope. I probably would use a slightly larger envelope in this instance because this note card is just a little smaller. I could certainly fit it with a little bit more room into an A2 size envelope, which is what I think I'm going to do. And then on the back, the only other thing I did is stamp my signature UPC symbol stamp with some Studio G orange ink. So there you go. Not too shabby for utilizing colors that are not on my top. If you have any questions, or if you want to see what else the Wild Bunch is creating, feel free to stop by the Wild Orca Crafts YouTube channel. I'll include a link to that in the description below. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone.